All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a summer like no other with Literacy, Leadership, and Innovation. I'm Rochelle Carroll, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent here in Instructional Services and Support. And I am so excited to be able to introduce you to three of our amazing coordinators that are going to be sharing with you this evening. So first, I'd like to introduce you to, there we go, Melissa Noble, our Coordinator of Literacy, and Ryan Santos, our Coordinator of Leadership, Equity, and Access, and Ashley Campos, our Coordinator of Innovation. So these three amazing educators are going to be talking with you tonight about how we can make this a summer like no other. So Melissa, take it away.
All right, thank you, Rochelle. So supporting literacy at home. Welcome, parents. Tonight we're going to talk about the wonderful world of literacy and how you can foster a love of learning and reading in your children over the summer. Fostering a love for literacy. Here's some easy tips for how you can build reading and writing, which are not just skills, they're essential tools for success in our lives. Literacy opens the doors to knowledge, imagination, and critical thinking. One of the most important things that we can do for our children is to foster a love for reading and for learning. Here are some simple tips that can help encourage that development and love and passion for literacy over the summer. The first tip is to read every day. Make reading a natural part of your child's daily activities. When my own children were little, we would read together before bedtime. But as they got older and our lives became busier, especially during the summer, we would read maybe in the mornings or in the car ride on the way to grandma's house. The important thing to remember is that we just want to provide the opportunity for our children to read or even listen to books so that reading becomes part of their everyday activities. The second tip is to make it fun. Show enthusiasm for books and for writing. Let your children see that you enjoy those activities as well. Learning to read should be an enjoyable thing, not a chore. So we want to read what's fun. Reading comic books or silly poems can be exciting. Having them act out their favorite stories or drawing a picture of what they envision in their head as they're hearing the story. These are all fun ways to engage your child and make it fun. I know my daughters, when we would read together, used to love that we would create voices for the characters to the stories that we read. The next tip is to create a comfortable reading space. So designate a cozy corner or a nook for reading with maybe pillows, blankets, some good lighting. Reading outside, especially over the summer, is really fun. Read by the pool, read on the beach or under a shaded tree. My kids, my own two children, used to love when we would make a fort in the living room and we would read underneath the fort with our flashlights. So have a conversation with them about where they like to read and where they're most comfortable when reading. The last tip to foster that love for literacy is to listen to your child's interests. Offer a variety of different books and writing materials to cater to their different likes and interests. As a teacher, I used to get lots of parents asking questions about what level book that students should read. They would say things like, shouldn't they be reading chapter books? The books that they pick are just too easy for them. And my answer to any of those questions was always just find what they love to read. Humans tend to want to do the things that we enjoy. And so if our children really enjoy the practice of reading, they'll do it more often. So again, the point is to just find what they like to read. Some students enjoy reading comic books. Others want to read graphic novels, or maybe they are interested in reading about animals, space, or historical events. Some children enjoy cooking, so they want to read recipes that they want to make with you over the summer. Others might like reading magazines about video games or maybe stats about their favorite baseball team. The main goal, again, is just to find what inspires them and make it an enjoyable habit. So there are many benefits to reading aloud. As I mentioned before, we want to make sure that children have that opportunity to make reading a daily habit, whether they read independently or they read with an adult or even listen to audiobooks. Reading aloud to our children has many benefits. It helps them build their language development. It helps them build their vocabulary and their background knowledge. Reading aloud to children is a great way to model that fluent reading, and it's also a great opportunity to have conversations with them about their thinking and their learning. But sometimes finding time to read aloud with our children is challenging in our busy schedules. So I'd like to give you some other options that your family can utilize for ways to incorporate some of that read aloud time. If there are older siblings in the house or family members in the home, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, babysitters, they too can also read aloud to your children. Listening to audiobooks as a family is a great option as well, and it can be a fun activity to do together. This can help build their vocabulary, again, as I mentioned before, their understanding of how language works, and it can build their background knowledge, which all will lead to increased reading comprehension. Another great option for read aloud time is to visit some online sites that feature read alouds, like the one that I'll share with you in a moment, Storyline Online, which is a free literacy program where actors read some of their own favorite books to children and their families. I wanted to preview Storyline Online with you so you can get a feel for what the site is all about. Again, as I mentioned before, many actors are on this site reading some of their favorite books, and this can be a fun activity for you to enjoy together as a family. So here we go with a little preview.
Welcome to Storyline Online. I'm Lily Tomlin, and today I'm reading Hey, That's My Monster, written by Amanda Knoll and illustrated by Howard McWilliam. Tonight, when I looked under the bed for my monster, I found this note instead. So long, kid. Gotta go. Someone needs me more than you do. Gabe. What? Gabe was my monster. Nobody needed him more than me. But someone sure did need a monster. My little sister, Emma. Now that Emma slept in a toddler bed, she liked to climb out, roam the house, and play noisy games at night. I knew a monster would keep her in bed so she could fall asleep. But not my monster. I had to get Gabe back. I tiptoed across the hall to Emma's room. She wasn't even there. But Gabe was. I gulped, zoomed across the carpet, and leaped onto Emma's bed before Gabe could grab my toes. Gabe, I whispered, please go back to our room. I'll get Emma to sleep. You, he snorted, you're gonna get her to sleep? Ah, that's a good one. But you know what? I like you, kid. So I'll give you 3 chances. If she's not asleep, I'll be back. And Gabe was gone. Just then, Emma toddled into the room. She clearly needed a monster. Maybe she didn't know how to get one, but I did. Hey, Emma, I said. Let's play. Can you knock on the floor? Emma knocked with a dinosaur. It worked. I heard some creaking under Emma's bed. Then something sniffled. It squelched and dripped. So far, so good, I thought. This monster sounds scary enough for Emma. But Emma kept on playing. A slime-covered monster slid out. He oozed toward Emma. Icky, she laughed, wiping one of the monster's noses. Icky, wipe. Emma wasn't scared at all.
I love that story, and I love Storyline Online because it provides an awesome opportunity for you to listen to lots of different books read aloud to you. So moving on to conversations with your children. Reading, whether your child reads independently or with someone in the house, it's a great opportunity to have conversations with your children about their thinking and about their learning. So the ABCs of talking to your child when they're reading include some helpful tips. The A, asking open-ended questions. So asking your child, what do you think this book will be about? Or questions like, what interesting fact did you learn from your reading today? Or what would you have done if you were the character in this story? There's all great ways to start a conversation with your children. The B stands for build vocabulary. So having conversations with your student or your child about new and interesting words, asking them what they think a word means. Try connecting it to something that you know they already know. So for example, if they're learning the word beverage, you might say to them, a beverage is a type of drink that we drink, like the milk we drink in the morning. Or you might even ask them after you read some interesting words, what new word did you learn today that you want to try in our conversation? The C stands for connecting to the kids' world. Relate the book to things that kids already know and ask them questions like, what does this book make you think about? Or have you ever felt the way that so-and-so felt in the story? So again, the ABCs of reading with your child are just some quick, easy tips to start those conversations. So I wanted to share some community resources with you. The Chula Vista Public Libraries are hosting a summer reading program from June 8th through July 20th. This will include incentives for readers of all ages to complete activities for reading books. The program will include performances, lunch at the library, different programs throughout the summer that are based around the theme Read, Renew, and Repeat. If you want more information, you can visit the website chulavistalibrary.com, and they will give you more information about that summer reading program. Lastly, I'd like to conclude by showing you a resource that will be made available to you using this QR code. Again, we'll be sharing it at the end of the presentation as well, but on it are a few tips that I shared with you tonight, some virtual library resources for that read aloud time that we discussed, a link to the summer reading program with the Chula Vista Library, and also some questions that you can ask your child to start those conversations with the ABCs of reading. So a summer like no other is our theme tonight, and I wanted to share with all of you a summer like no other in my life experience. So the summer like no other for me was the summer I was going into the 4th grade. I had just finished 3rd grade, and I didn't really consider myself a reader at all. Reading was really hard for me, and I didn't enjoy it until I found Where the Sidewalk Ends and fell in love with the rhythm and the rhyme of the poetry in the book. I would set up my stuffed animals and my dolls, and I would practice over and over and over again the poem until my mom got home from work that day. And then I would read the poem to my family. I remember feeling so excited about this book, about the fact that I was reading. And for the first time in my life, I felt like a reader. Now, it looks like our screen went black, so I'm going to try to figure out what happened there. I'm going to stop sharing and reshare and see if that helps. Did that help? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Santos now.
Hi, good evening again, parents. Once again, my name is Ryan Santos. I'm your coordinator of leadership development, equity, and access here at Chula Vista Elementary School District. In this next portion of our presentation, we're going to explore why leadership development is important, especially for our young students. We'll cover some information about what it looks like here at our district and our schools, and share out some ways that you could develop leadership at home. And then in this part of our presentation, we'll close out with a different way to think about leadership, how to build assets or strengths in your child at home. So why is leadership important for elementary age children? Here at our district, our vision is that each child is an individual of great worth. And so when we think about this work, it really is what roots us here at the district and at our schools. It's this idea of making sure that our students know their full potential, that they understand the unique gifts that they bring into this world. Similar to this image here of this garden, like these plants here in this image, each one of our students and each one of us is different, and we bring something unique to the table or to this image. And so our work really is for our students to understand their worth. And it's guided through one of our main instructional framework. It's at the heart of what we do, and it's this belief that all students will feel valued and capable. So before our students can begin to feel that they could be leaders, it's so important that they always feel valued and capable. Another important part of developing leadership in our young students is that now in elementary school is the time for them to understand who they are, what their strengths are, what their interests are, so that when they think about life after elementary school and go to middle school and or high school, they begin to envision how these strengths align with their future selves, a future profession and or a future career. Digging into a little bit deeper as it relates to the ways in which we support our students and develop leadership here. As I mentioned, this is our instructional framework. It's rooted in this idea. It's actually more than this, but at the heart of our instructional framework, I should say, is this idea that and belief that our students will feel valued and capable. Additionally, we care enough to know and value our students. So knowing who our students are, valuing them, understanding their strengths, and what they bring to the table is what we do here at Chula Vista Elementary School District. We also care enough to model courtesy and respect. That is at the heart of being not only a good person, but also being a good leader. We care enough to praise and acknowledge our students. Our students need this. We need this as people to know when we're heading in the right direction and get that guidance. You'll see that a lot of these strategies, a lot of these ways of thinking, you could also carry over into your home. But another part that we do, another key piece to what we do is making sure that we care enough to demand the best of our students. A big part of this is really having high expectations, and we have high expectations of our students because we believe that they can do hard things. We believe that they can do these things. And lastly, these last two bullets, we care enough to transform classroom practices, and we care enough to create attractive and educationally rich physical environments. Is really about creating the conditions in schools for our students to thrive, both academically and personal socially. Can we move to the next slide? Awesome. Thank you. This next slide really highlights the different ways that we at home can facilitate leadership development in our students. The first one is leading by example. As adults, it's important for us to know that our students are sponges. They take in everything that we do, everything that we say. So modeling good leadership at home is critical in doing a solid leadership development at home. Also, communicating and actively listening to your child is a way to develop leadership development. These are those qualities that are important for them to have when they enter the workforce. Being able to communicate effectively and listen to others is a key quality as it relates not only to leadership development, but also career development. The next bullet touches on negotiation and this idea of like including your child in creating decisions and having a voice at the table. Ultimately, you as parents will have the ultimate say, but you know, being able to really have our students understand how decision processes work and giving them a voice at the table is part and parcel to leadership development. Valuing feelings, motivating, inspiring others are other ways that you at home can facilitate leadership development by listening to your child's feelings, validating those things. Similar again to the workforce, valuing people that you work with and their opinions is a strength. Understanding that everybody brings something different to the table is key. And then being positive and flexible, those are really important, not only in our workforce, but also being able to have that upbeat attitude at home is a quality that we look for not only in others, but also in leaders. And this last bullet here is a really an important one. And I think a lot of times we forget about the importance of this, making mistakes and seeing it as an opportunity to grow, allowing our children to make mistakes so that they can fail forward. We talk about in education this idea that that any mistake is something that's leading them to growth and becoming a better person, and that making mistakes is part and parcel to being human. Switching gears, one last thing we wanted to be able to share with you all is just a different way to think about leadership development and developing strengths in our students. As many of us here know, life is full of changes. Change is one of the only constants that we have in life. And being able to bounce back from adversity is a skill that we want all of our leaders to have and all of our students at Chula Vista to have as well. And so the Search Institute has identified these critical ways that we could ensure that students not only develop leadership, but resiliency in their lives. And it's from the Search Institute. There's 40 developmental assets that guide our work and give you some insights into how you can provide supports and develop strengths in students. We'll take a look at the first 20 external assets. So this first set of assets really is focused on the conditions around a student that can help them bounce back from adversity. And the main categories are under support, empowerment, boundaries and expectations, and constructive use of time. So if we look at example 2, positive family communication, that's one way in which you could build strength and a support for your child. So being able to have open, respectful, frequent conversations with your child is a way not only to develop resilience, but to develop strengths in your child. Additionally, if we look at number 18, child programs, we see that if a child or student participates in weekly activities, it again serves as a source of strength and support and develops resilience in our children. So as our next presenter will share, you'll learn some opportunities for our students to be involved over the summer. The more of these external assets or strengths that a student has, the stronger their net of support will be, and the more likely they'll be able to bounce back from life's challenges. This next set of assets or strengths focuses on the internal qualities of a child's life. These are the conditions that we can create in a child's internal world, to make them again bounce back from adversity. And you can see here that the main categories fit under commitment to learning, positive values, social competencies, and positive self-identity. If we, again, for example, look at number 25, reading for pleasure, having children listen and or read books outside of school is a way, again, to develop strengths and assets. This reinforces the message that we just heard from Melissa, our coordinator of literacy, about how developing a love of reading has so many benefits for our children. Similar to our external assets, the more internal assets a student has in their life, the more resilient they'll be in their lives, and the more likely they're going to be able to bounce back from adversity. And one thing that leaders experience time and time again is challenges. So we want to be able to prepare our students with these assets so they can bounce back from any adversity. We will include this resource in our resource folder for our parents to reference later, so you can take a deeper look into these 40 developmental assets and understand the different ways that you could support your student in becoming a leader. For me, to close this section, a summer like no other for me that comes to mind was the first time that I learned how to swim. I was in the 2nd grade, and my mom and my aunt had me and my cousins take a swimming classes. It was the first and only class that my parents signed us up for in the summer. And it was so perfect because it not only taught me a love and respect for the ocean, but it taught me how to push through my fears and take risks. It's opened up a world for me in so many different ways. And I'll never forget the summer that I learned how to swim. That's it for me. I'm going to be passing it on to our amazing coordinator of innovation, Ashley Campos.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ryan. It has been so fantastic hearing from Melissa Noble, our coordinator of literacy, and Ryan just doing an awesome job helping us understand so much more about how we can empower our students and becoming leaders. And I'm going to round us out tonight for a summer like no other with some updates and information about innovation in our district. So what does innovation look like in our district is one of the things that we're going to be discussing tonight. Innovation in our district provides hands-on project-based learning opportunities and experience to students aligned with potential careers in the future world of work. And so tonight we're going to explore what that looks like I said, across our district. We're also going to discuss what innovation looks like and can look like at home. And what innovation opportunities, go back one more. What innovation opportunities exist within the local community. So summer is a few short weeks away, and I'd like to invite you to take note throughout the rest of this presentation of how you might provide innovation opportunities for your student at home or within the local community using some of the resources and ideas that are shared here tonight. And as Ryan already shared, and Melissa as well, we do have a folder, QR code and a link to access at the end of this presentation for any of the resources that we're mentioning. So as I move forward here, like I was going to say, to kick us off, here's a short video that highlights what innovation looks like across our district with our innovation station experiences.
Hi, and welcome to the Chula Vista Elementary School District. There's so many great programs here at CVESD, but one of my favorites is our station experience. Let me tell you all about it. The hands-on learning labs in Chula Vista helps us students explore our interest in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math through fun and engaging activities. There are 4 different stations across our district: Innovation Station, Health Station, Energy Station, and Hydro Station. Each station highlights different types of careers. We learn about potential jobs in technology, clean energy, water, health, and engineering. Activities at the Innovation Station focus on information and communication technology. At the Health Station, we learn about sports medicine, nutrition, and personal wellness. Activities at Energy Station include harnessing the power of renewable energy to solve global challenges. For example, we learn to harness the wind. At the Hydro Station, we solve problems related to water and water efficiency. At our stations, we work in a group to solve a problem using the engineering design process. The teachers at each station also help us reflect and strengthen our problem-solving skills. It's a lot of fun. Because of our community partnerships with organizations like Qualcomm and San Diego Gas and Electric, each station has amazing resources that offer up-to-date technology and relevant curriculum. Each station is located across the community here in Chula Vista. It's nice to get out of the classroom every now and then. There's so many great things about these station experiences, from sharpening our critical thinking skills to hands-on learning. It really helps me and all the students here at CVSD feel prepared for our future. Interested in learning more? Visit our district website.
All right, so as seen in the video, throughout the school year, our district provides 6 station experiences for students in grades 4 through 6. I think there were 4 stations highlighted in the video, and we've since grown a bit with our station experiences. And these experiences support students in identifying personal strengths and interests aligned with potential careers in the future world of work. And each station is connected to a San Diego priority work sector, highlighting potential careers for students in that priority sector. So for example, we have health sciences with the health station, water highlighted through the hydro station, and energy through the energy station. In the future, we're hoping to expand our programs to include additional station experiences and to hopefully serve other grade levels. And I also can't help but note in this moment our gratitude and appreciation for our district community partnerships, which are the organizations here pictured on the screen that make these station experiences come to life. And innovation in our district, in addition to the station experiences, there are varying opportunities that exist within each school site, each individual school site. And some of those opportunities include maker spaces, robotics, and hands-on project-based learning, as mentioned in the video, similar to what happens at the station through the engineering design process. And then that takes us to innovation at home. So innovation is not something that can only happen or live here at school. Innovation for your student can easily happen and live at home too. So during distance learning, our station teachers hosted and recorded some live events related to the station experiences. And these recorded events, along with many other innovation videos and resources, can be easily accessed from home through the CVESD Innovation YouTube channel. So like I mentioned before, we will have access to a bank of resources at the end, and I've included this link to that channel for you to access at the end of the presentation. So when using these resources to facilitate innovation at home, we also recommend having career conversations with your student. So because the recorded events are rooted in a station experience connected to a priority work sector, this is a great opportunity to tap into your students' passions, interests, and goals by asking them what they may have liked about participating in that hands-on virtual activity and how those interests could potentially lead to a future career. All right, and continuing with our innovation opportunities at home, there's even more organic forms of innovation that can happen, and we like to call those maker opportunities. So maker opportunities are when students have the chance to make, build, create, engineer, and design. And to provide these opportunities at home, all you need are a few low-cost or recyclable materials and some creativity. So giving students the opportunity to freely make, build, create, engineer, and design really further helps develop their deeply human skills. And those invaluable skills include collaboration, communication, problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. At the end of this presentation, I will share, like I've mentioned a few times before, some resources, and included in there, you'll find some maker challenges, like build a better Band-Aid and a list of low-cost recyclable materials that you might want to have on hand for your student to be an innovative maker at home, anytime or especially over the summer. And moving on ahead brings us to innovation. Whoops. Not there yet, innovation in the community. So as you think about summer for your student and providing opportunities for innovation, maybe at home, but also in branching out into the community, you may choose to embrace what our local community has to offer for some summer programming. The library, as listed on the screen there, offers weekly events. I know Melissa mentioned some of their events as well. At the end of this presentation and those linked resources, we've included a link to the library calendar for all the kid-friendly summer events, and they often do host STEAM events as some of those programmed library events. The Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center is a fantastic facility, and it's actually where our health station is located. Is accessible here in Chula Vista and open and free to the public. It's a beautiful location, great opportunity to get outdoors. I invite you and your families to check it out and take a walking tour there. The Ecologic Camp is a free camp sponsored by the U.S. National Park Service, and that'll be happening at Cabrillo National Park. And UCSD is also providing a camp experience through their Sally Ride Science Academy. This camp is free and for students in grades 3 through 5. And you can access, like I've said, more information about these events through the resource link at the end of this presentation. And we already got a little sneak peek in rounding out our theme tonight, a summer like no other. I have the opportunity to share with you one of my favorite summers to date as an adult was back in 2017, where I got to attend a Design Thinking Institute. Being the coordinator of innovation, I'm very passionate about creativity, design, and opportunities for students to think differently about their world and how they can be a problem solver within their world. And so I had the opportunity to go to the Nueva Institute, located up in the Bay Area in Northern California, to learn alongside other teachers in how to teach design thinking and how to use design thinking as a framework to support hands-on project-based learning for students. It was so much fun. I loved learning all about, like I said, innovative ways to provide meaningful learning experiences for students through design thinking. And now the much alluded to resource link and QR code here at the end of our presentation. If you were to type that link into the web browser on your smartphone or your computer, that's going to bring you to a OneDrive folder where you will find all the resources for leadership, literacy, and innovation tonight. Or right now on your screen, you might consider scanning that QR code there. And with all that being said, we would like to thank you for joining us tonight for a summer like no other with leadership, literacy, and innovation. It's been a joy to have this opportunity to share things we're passionate about in our work and with your students, with our families. So thank you for joining us tonight.